Right, attempt whatever with the heating. Alrighty then, so last week our diesel hydronic system encountered some, I guess some air, and it wasn't quite working, so we're gonna be testing it a few times today. Last week we turned the system on for the first time and it was a rather loud experience. The pump was just, you know, just making a lot of noise, and the pipes were getting hot but not all the way around. So we figured out that the pump wasn't actually pumping the glycol around because there was no glycol in the pump, and it's not a self-priming pump, but there aren't instructions as to how to prime it. So the next day we started building the couch, which sits on top of our heating system. So it turned out that we had to move the pipes for the couch anyway, so obviously we moved them around the way we want them for the heating to work. And out of curiosity, and because we like to change tasks midway during the day, we turned the heating on again just to see what happens.
Alright.
Still loud.
It is still loud, but look, the level is going down.
Move the pipes around a bit, just gently.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's getting warmer. Ooh,
Yeah.
there's something pumping then.
It's definitely pumping. We've got the underfloor turned off at the moment.
Oh yeah, that's correct.
On purpose. These are cold.
These are cold, yeah.
But that's not too much of a problem. We know that they might be still too high. But that is hot now. That going to the air matrix is hot.
Oh, it stopped. So without doing anything else but rearranging the pipes lower down to the ground and taking a quick drive, which moved the glycol about, we managed to prime the pump. We managed to get glycol in the pump, which made it prime itself and start pumping the glycol around the system. So that's problem one solved. Glycol in the pump. Okay, next. So from our impromptu experiment, after moving the pipes here, we got some success in getting some air out, and the pump was actually pumping, getting more pipes hot. That, the heat exchanger, loop-de-loop, didn't work so far. So our next task is to try and shorten this and change the position of the heat exchanger so we can get the air out. That's now the highest point left, other than obviously the tank itself. The tank is still the highest point, but that's the next highest, and there must be air trapped there.
Okay, there we go.
What happened?
Well, so we've drastically lowered the positioning or the height of the heat exchanger. Had to use a couple of L pieces to be able to make the pipes fit, but that should work now. This is the line coming from the heater, so the glycol will come up and into the heat exchanger there, circulate around, and this is the out pipe going back into the return line. Now I know one of you guys recommended that we flip our heat exchanger vertically. However, the heat exchanger is 33 centimeters long and our couch is 29.8 centimeters tall. So it would have been taller than our couch, so we can't do that since it has to fit under here. So I think that's the next best option, but I think we can turn it on.
We're airing, it's trembling, bubbling a bit.
Good. That's hot, well, warm. Turn line is cooler at the moment. Line to the fan is warmer. Return line is slightly warmer than normal. Hot. Warm. Oh no, that's hot. Hot going into the...
Is the heat exchanger warm?
No. Yeah, over here it is.
Alright.
Return line is cold at the moment.
Cold, cold?
Yeah, cold at the moment. What about underfloor? Underfloor is warm now.
Check the underfloor over there.
Over here. This is our access port. Not at the moment. Let me have a look here in the middle. That's warm. So this line here is coming from over there. But the rest of them aren't yet. Okay. But all the pipes are warm. That's a significant improvement from last time, which was only the in and out of the heater pipes were warm.
Oh, what happened?
It's been half an hour. It's been half an hour.
Right.
So it lasted half an hour. No codes. Good news, the heater works. The wiring seems to have worked, and nearly all the pipes get hot. The only exception is the return on the underfloor heating. Now, I know a few of you suggested to put another ball valve in this H right here. When we have the underfloor turned on, we turn this ball valve so it can't take the shortcut, has to take the long way around going through the underfloor. I think you're right. I think that's what's happening. It's not going through the underfloor, it's just taking the shortcut back. So I think that's why the underfloor is not getting hot. So we can solve that. That's fine. Oh, and because it will still be hot now, the matrix does work as well, if you were wondering. So if I turn that on,
what did you turn on?
The fan on max heat. And I know there's no temperature gauge here on video, but just believe me, this is warm air coming out of here.
That's not fair. I can't feel the heat.
There's an electric heater over there. Go sit in front of that one.
But that's my heater. My spot.
It's going to be too cold by the time you get here. You're welcome. It's cool now.
Hello. So in order to get the underfloor working, we hope that all we need to do is just add another valve to shut off our H. So here's the valve. It's huge.
So this here is the H, and what we hoped would happen is the glycol comes down here and then splits. Some of it goes back, and then some of it comes to our underfloor and wiggles its way through. What's actually happening is the glycol is like, no dude, I'm just going to take the shortcut back to the heater. I'm not even going to bother running through here. So what ends up happening is these two, the entrance and the exit of the underfloor, get hot through conductive heat from over here. But the further away you get, the cooler it gets. So the glycol in these pipes is not circulating. What we're hoping is if we put this valve in place of that H and basically shut the valve, the glycol's only path when we want the underfloor on is to run through the entire underfloor system and come out the other side. So I guess let's do that. So I've clamped off the entrance and the exit to and from the heater, and also to and from the heat exchanger here, and I've shut the underfloor so that hopefully when we take that middle piece off, there should only be a small amount of glycol that leaks out of the remaining pipes in that piece. By the way, yes, we have a couch. We're ignoring the couch today. We're going to get our underfloor heating working. So these hose clamps need to go on here preliminarily so we don't forget them.
Is preliminarily a word? I can't even say it.
Preliminarily. Preliminarily?
Preliminary.
It's a word now. These valves are notoriously hard to find. They don't seem to be a standard plumbing size. Every company that I rang was like, oh, is it for a washing machine? Yes, this is a washing machine, okay? Give me my valve. It's a 3/4 inch ball valve. I don't get what's so specialist about it. I'm hoping I can pull it apart, because if I can't, I don't really want to cut it. You know you wanna.
Oh,
okay. There you go. Yeah, and that's stopped dribbling pretty much. There you go. Right, so that's the old bit of pipe off. Now we need to fit that in there.
Well, see if you can spread them apart enough to just fit in. Then we have to rearrange the pipes a bit. So focus on the blue, guys. Okay, well that's that. Now,
just need to tighten these hose clamps up in the right place. All right. So that's that in. So now I can unclamp these.
Okay, so we need to rearrange the pipes so everything is
as low as possible and as neat as possible.
Yeah. Okay, so because we've introduced more air into the system, because we open it up and we're opening new lines, so there's still air in the system, and the pump is still passing through its cycles and it's trying to get things out. But in order to help, because last time when we drove, the bubbles seemed to shift around a bit, and that helped them move out. So we're gonna go for a quick drive, you know, jiggle the pipes about a bit more, and hopefully that would just bubble things out a bit easier.
Alright, let's roll. Yep, so we've driven for half an hour. We had all the vents open, so any air that was in the underfloor in there could jostle its way out. So,
okay. So should we close the underfloor so we know that the loop is hot, and then we'll open it?
Yes.
Right. We'll swap the valves.
So, close the underfloor, and
keep that
that's open.
Yeah, keep that open.
So we're going to heat up the main loop, and then once that's heated, then we'll open the underfloor, close that, and let it circulate through here. All right, let's
hopefully.
Hopefully. That's been 3 minutes. And that seems...
That's quite down a bit now.
Yeah, that's how the pump's meant to sound. There you go. So that's the short loop. The underfloor is not open at the moment. So yeah, I'll give it another 5 minutes for it to heat up. Then we'll open the underfloor. That's been 5 minutes and this return line is now hot. So we'll open the underfloor.
Right, and close the blue.
Right, and we'll close the blue. So now the only way the glycol can go is through the underfloor. That sounds like air from the underfloor, which makes a bit of sense. This is hot, right there.
Right.
In. Yeah, this is warm. Yeah, it's getting warmer.
Maybe it's trying to push the air? I don't know.
Quite possibly.
The thing is, it needs to push the air, all the air through all of this.
Yes, it needs to push it all the way through the entire loop. Which
so
is
if there's bubbles anywhere...
right at the beginning, it has to push it all the way out.
But then there'll be these bubbles that reach first.
Yes.
So it'll be the pressure coming from there.
Yeah. But this is hot. This is hot. That is nearly too hot to touch now.
Okay, don't touch it. Oh, hold on. That's getting warm now.
What's that?
Yeah, is it warm over there?
Right, that's warm. That's getting hot.
Oh, that means that that's getting around.
Right, so let me do a temperature check. So there, let's call that a 10 out of 10 for hotness. So the entrance to the underfloor is probably a 10. Yeah, that's probably a 10. Now, here, maybe an 8 out of 10.
And that's getting hot pretty fast now.
Yeah, and what about, this should be the coldest place. That's definitely a 4 or a 5.
Alright, so we're still getting there.
The question is the floor warm?
Well, you don't, it might not be yet.
Oh, yep, there. That is warm on the feet.
Right, okay, so...
You know how central heating is in a house where you walk along the floor and suddenly you find a hot pipe and usually your pets sleep on that hot pipe? That's what it's feeling like. So the part where this is going...
So that's the hottest part.
This is hot. I can feel the warmth through the floor.
not too hot to stand on? Just...
Oh no, definitely not too hot to stand on. It's like warm. It's like someone has walked, you know, by a fireplace, stone by a fireplace. It's warm to walk on.
Well, obviously it's taking some time to actually warm up. It's not as instant as them warming.
No.
Because that's a very long loop. Right. That is turned off. Okay, so it's been half an hour.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's somewhat successful, I would say.
So the answer to does that blue valve solve the underfloor heating problem? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
So we have some warm patches. That's good.
Yeah, it's warm all the way over here as well. That is warm.
So the glycol does go underneath the floor, so that's great. It does do it slowly. It takes about 20 minutes. Yeah, 20 minutes for us to start feeling it.
Yeah. Because it only takes about 5 minutes for this short loop to heat up fully. So for the air matrix, which is under your feet there, so that air matrix will only take 5 minutes for hot air to come out.
So I would say about half an hour for the floor to actually get warm to make a difference. And then the longer you keep the heating on, the I guess the better, the more warm up, I guess.
Yeah.
But we'll have to test it as we use it. Now, according to this experiment, we don't need a second pump.
Yes.
Because we were thinking, oh well, if the glycol doesn't go under the floor now, then you're gonna need a second pump to tell it to go, into the smaller pipe. So, a few more tests, and then we'll see where we stand. But this is promising. It's working, sort of.
Shall we call it initial test 1? Does that valve work? The answer is yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, it's approaching midnight again. And I'm hungry again. We haven't been sleeping a lot, and we keep missing meals and snacks. So so when it gets to like midnight and 1 o'clock, I'm starving, but then I need to sleep. Yes. And it's not good to eat before you sleep, like right before.
Yeah.
I have a huge dilemma because I don't like going to bed hungry.
Do you eat or do you sleep?
Yeah, which do you do? So usually I have to nibble on something. Yes. Want ice cream?
Yeah.
Does that count as a nibble?